Hi, everyone. My name is Deb Kelsbeek. I am your professional chaos coordinator and owner at FemPro Business Society. I help women make more money by using a proven system. So I am so excited because today I am joined by another photographer. I know I'm so excited. As most of you know, I have been a photographer personally for 12 years. So this is very, very exciting. And my very first podcast doing it with another photographer. So I want you all to meet Whitney. And Whitney, I'm going to have you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be the first photographer that has been able to sit down and chat with you and dive deep into what's important within our work. And, just maybe talking about it from a different perspective from what people usually hear. So thanks for having me. Hi, guys. I'm Whitney Brewer. I'm the owner and head creative at Whitney Brewer Photography. And essentially what I do is I inspire people to fall in love with themselves through the gifts of photography and my studies of emotional intelligence and psychology. So I take the tangible images and we work through body image and coaching through body language and all of the important things in between to really land self-love. So that's what I'm up to. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness, I love that. And did I understand you correct that you have some type of degree in psychology?
No, so actually, I have a degree I have a bachelor's in fine arts. So I studied photography at Ohio State. And then I began my leadership training. It started as just therapy, and I became fascinated in cognitive behavioral therapy, essentially creating new neurotransmitters and new pathways within your brain to just think differently and create a different life for yourself. And that kind of got me hooked. And I started doing a bunch of leadership training in which we really dove deep into self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And I've been continuing to study that. So it's like I'm in constant workshops, constant movement within that. So the work that I am inspiring others to do is work that I have done myself. So I never want to be, a hypocrite in the work that I'm doing.
Yes, absolutely. So can you tell me a little bit more about your business and how did you get started? How did you get from starting to here where you were helping women? This isn't just a photo shoot. This is going through something deep and personal.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. So the reason, there's lots of reasons why I started what I'm up to. And to be completely honest and transparent with you, the biggest reason is because I was never given a safe space to be photographed in the nude or even just vulnerable images of myself. I never was given a safe space to do that. Basically, I had a professor in college who, if you didn't get naked for your photos, you didn't get an A. And so I took that experience and turned it around and made it so that people didn't have to feel that way and that I could create something different for other people, because I realized the value of the vulnerability within the images and how important that was, and stripping layers off and the onion layers coming off, and the self-growth and the things that I realized were so important, and so much more important than the actual trauma. So I took the trauma and I turned it into passion. And now I create a safe space for humans. It's not just women, it's men, it's women, it's transgenders, all of the things. I've worked with amazing human beings all over the planet. And it's just amazing to really, inspire others to see that we are just souls with these vessels that contain, all of this amazing stuff in our hearts, and really to just dive into what it looks like right now to just really fall in love with your being and your body. So,
I love that you made it a point to say all humans. If you're human, then you should love your body, and let's photograph it. Let's, celebrate that.
That's exactly what it is.
You're a human.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and the biggest, I was just going to, bouncing off of that real quick, I was just going to say, and the reason that I started I was working restaurant jobs. I have been in customer service my whole life, which I love. It's my favorite. But I had someone talk down to me, someone that was in a very high-end restaurant, and he dropped the F-bomb in front of a whole restaurant of people and embarrassed me. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't really know who you're talking to, but this is my last day. And like that, I'm not that type of person. I never am like, I'm not going to work my 2 weeks out. Like, I've always been respectful, and this guy just pissed me off to no end. And I was like, cool. I actually don't have a job now. So that's when Whitney Brewer Photography was like created and launched, was like, I didn't have an option.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
what would you say, because I love your story, what would you say sets you apart from other photographers within your field?
I think the experience that I've had personally with the vulnerability being behind the lens, and it can be scary. And I think that being photographed and really living what you're doing and what you're preaching is so important. And I don't think that a lot of boudoir photographers would feel comfortable stepping into being behind the camera and being behind the lens. And I think that that's so important because, you know, I walk the walk and I talk the talk. It's all a part of it. And so I think that, and also the experience of me, you know, not having that safe space and choosing that is what is important, and that is what is professional, is safety, and creating a space for humans to really take themselves on in a space where it's not uncomfortable. So I think that's definitely something that sets me apart from other people.
Which is amazing. So then going off of that, what does like a safe space and safety mean to you? And why do you think that that's so important within the photography world?
Oh my God. It's incredible. It's incredibly important in the photography world. Safety can mean a lot of different things, but I think that in the photography department, especially with body positive or boudoir, even intimate moments like headshots or branding, moments where you spend a lot of time with people, it's a comfortability. Safety is knowing that your photographer isn't going to leak your naked images all over the internet. So it's like trust, and really just, I think it's trust and feeling comfortable, and knowing that the person that you're working with is professional and, you know, there for the right reason. I have heard nightmare reviews about photographers touching women and saying inappropriate, oh my goodness, girl, like, makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm like, that is why I do what I do, because of this yucky stuff. Like, that's not what I'm up to. And it's like, I'll be damned if that happens anywhere around me, because I have control over it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say is the difference between body positive photography and boudoir? Because typically when people think of this type of photography, they automatically think like, oh, boudoir. But this is something different.
Yes. So if you look up the word boudoir, it legitimately means a woman's bedroom or a sulking place in French, which to me, a sulking place, okay, like I'm gonna go to my bedroom to cry. So to me, boudoir has like a negative connotation, according to the definition in the dictionary. And what I'm up to is different. We're celebrating bodies, we're celebrating the folds, we're celebrating the wrinkles, we're celebrating the stretch marks, because guess what? Everyone has them. Everyone has stretch marks. Every single human, including men. Yes, including men. And like, you know, I worked with a woman a couple of months ago. She was talking about her cat mouth. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's the space below your belly button, right above your genitals, on a woman or a man, that literally looks like your belly button, and your skin of your belly looks like a cat mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're so hard on ourselves. And like, really what I'm up to is like, okay, how can we change those words into, instead of cat mouth, that is where extra skin lays because you were able to birth 5 beautiful humans. Like, that's amazing. She was 90 pounds soaking wet, and she was talking about herself negatively. And I'm like, do you even understand? Like, self-talk even matters. So, there is definitely a difference. Boudoir, when I see boudoir photographers, I see women in the same space getting photographed in the same bed with the same background. And so we're taking away the individuality of the human being that's being photographed. And what I'm up to is celebrating the individual, putting them in a space where they feel most comfortable or most like themselves, so that they can actually truly shine where they are and doing what they're doing.
Yes. So would you say that your favorite part of a photo shoot is? Like, why do you love to do what you do?
Oh man. Honestly, it's seeing layers unfold right before my very eyes. It's like magic happens. I can't describe it. It's like you can just see like a lightness come over the person in front of me, and it's not because of the photography, and it's not because of me, it's because of the safe space. It's because they're given I'm holding the space for them to really just feel themselves out and like enjoy themselves and truly feel like what feeling safe looks like. And a lot of people, realize in those moments that they're not even safe in their relationships.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a lot of transformation that happens in these, in this hour or these 2 hours with these amazing humans that I'm working with. And it's not like it's like a transaction. It's never a transaction for me. It's not about the money. It's about the hearts, and it's about the transformations, and it's about healing and changing people's lives and giving them a tangible product to go home with and be like, damn, here's my results of what I did. I took myself on and I did something super uncomfortable, but look at me, like, look at this. It's amazing. So yeah.
I'm curious, because I know, like, personally, that this is how it is for me. Do you find that very first photograph that you take, like during a photo shoot, that they're still a little bit guarded? And then the shots that you're taking at the end, like, those are the ones that are gold, where they just like let down their insecurities and embrace, all of the like quote unquote flaws that are not flaws, but those little things about them that they may not like and that they start to learn to love.
Yep. It's amazing. And you're absolutely right. And it's funny. I don't know if you do this, but I do. Just because I know, and it's very much like you're talking about right now, I need 10 minutes to really like study someone and really get into the groove of things, and for both parties to open up. Like, cool, I'm going to get some test shots, and it's going to be weird for the first 10 minutes, and it's always weird. It doesn't matter if I've known you for 40 years or I've known you for 3 minutes. Always weird. And I can't put a finger on it, but trust me, once we get past that 10 minutes, gold. And you're so right. Like, towards the end, you're like, holy shit, this person looks like a completely different, like, you're glowing, you have this vibe about you, like, it's amazing. And when you have a gift to capture and open that up in someone, that's when you create magic for people. And that is a gift in itself.
I absolutely agree. Like, some of the best photographers that I know, like, as friends in person, like, they've all said the same thing, where it's like, you are way more than just taking a photo. Like, it's really this psychological piece to it that most people don't actually recognize. I know personally, and it's something I didn't have in the beginning. Like, it's something that I kind of learned. I definitely examine people in those first few moments, and I can see the difference happening both in person from the beginning of the photo shoot to the end, and definitely while I'm editing, I can see those photos. Like, I don't think I'm gonna give these to you. They're not the bomb. The ones towards the end, like that middle, you can see it happen, and then like just something amazing.
You're so right. Yep, you're so right. Absolutely. And that is also kudos to you, because I feel like you're creating that environment as well, where like people can be free and be open up around you. and really let their inner light shine. And you're just the person to like hold the space and capture it. And that is amazing.
I agree. So what would you tell the newer photographer that wants to get into the industry? Like, what would you tell that newbie?
Prepare yourself to work for free a lot. A lot. To me, what I've learned through my photography journey is it's not about working for free. It's really just about building connections. And when people don't see your gift because you're not giving it, then people don't see what you're up to and you're not going to make any money. I don't know if you follow Gary Vee. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. He's very straightforward. He drops the F-bomb all the time. He's very authentic, very real. But I take a lot of his marketing very seriously. I had a friend of mine, I reached out to James Young Photography out in California. He's phenomenal. And I asked him, like, how did you go from, 100 followers on Instagram to 20,000? He said, I started connecting with local restaurants and connecting with, local baseball teams and just working for free and connecting with people. And I think that at first that really made me cringe because I was working in the restaurant industry trying to float and I couldn't do it. But I realized that once I started giving my gift away for free, that people saw me and that people were really able to like, oh, that's what she's up to. And she's worth every penny because now we've seen it. A lot of the times people, when you hire a photographer, they don't see and they don't experience it until they experience it, obviously. So it's hard to show people who you are when you're $500 or $600 an hour and people are like, I don't want to pay that because I don't even know if you're worth it. So that and being patient. I think being patient and graceful with yourself because running a business is not easy. I've been doing this since 2012 and I'm still figuring it out and it's incredibly fun. But yeah, I think that a lot of people could beat themselves up in this process, and grace and patience have really seen me through. And I think, is there anything else that I would, and take yourself seriously.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Take yourself seriously.
Going off of the free, another thing that I would suggest doing, and I'm going to just kind of piggyback off of that one, is reaching out to your ideal client. So if you know someone that is like your ideal client, reach out to them and be like, hey, can I photograph you? And in exchange, can you write me a review? Can you, kind of word of mouth, tell your friends about me? Because then you're not starting with someone who like, they just want to use you because it's free.
True.
But like you're getting
it's looking for the perfect client or the perfect, for me, I like to call them win-win clients. So like, how can I help you help me win? How can we all help each other win? I just actually met up with a local chef in Dayton and he is like, oh my gosh, let me cook you food and you can take pictures of my food. And I'm like, yes, like,
I get food.
Cool, you feed me, right? So it's, I love the win-wins. How can you give your gift to me and I talk about your gift and vice versa? And just supporting each other and really lifting each other up. The competition doesn't work.
Yes. Like we all bring something to the table, community over competition. Like, you know what? You and I both are photographers, but we have completely different businesses. I definitely believe that we are always stronger when we work together. Definitely. I love that. And I love also being able to just like hype other people up, like especially other industries. Like, yeah, I totally like that idea of the win-win. Like hype your fellow businesses up.
Yeah. I literally like branding and body positive are my niches. I didn't realize branding was a thing until COVID, but shifting, that's what we do as artists. And so I just started reaching out to small local businesses that might need headshots or might need pictures of their shop for social media and just really connecting with them. And if it doesn't feel good, trust it and don't do it. Really trust that. Like if there's like back and forth bickering and like just trust that it's not a good fit and move on. Create space for something better.
Yes. So definitely always listen to your gut, listen to that
Mm,
vibe, because it's never
mm-hmm.
wrong.
Never wrong.
Also make sure that you know what is expected. Like each party knows what's being expected, and like make that super, super clear.
I even, for my free work or my trades, I actually still do contracts, and I'll put what is in, like what the trade is in the contract. Like I'm doing 30 images, an hour-long shoot for a trade of, you know, Google Analytics, 3 hours, you know, from this person, 3 sessions for 3 months. And that way it's like in the books, this is what you said, just in case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, I got one last question for you. And this one,
Let's hear it.
I'm grabbing it because you're a fellow photographer. Do you listen to the Bokeh podcast?
No.
Okay, so it's this super awesome podcast from
Okay.
Photographers Edit. Totally listen to it. Myself and my co-owner of my rental studio, we both have been able to be on their podcast. But he asked all of their guests like what their favorite tool is in their photography bag. So everyone, go look up Bokeh podcast.
I'm gonna do that.
In the show notes. But Whitney, I would ask you, what is your favorite tool in your photography bag?
Like legit, like in my bag?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm pretty simple. I just invested in a Sigma art lens, and it is juice. It is juice. And I just upgraded to another Sigma art lens, and it was garbage, and I sent it back. And so I shoot religiously with my 35 millimeter Sigma Art 1.4 lens. And that's my best tool. It literally it's perfect for everything that I do. So that is probably that Sigma line is so good. So yeah, what's yours? Now I want to know, what's yours?
Oh man. Okay, so honestly, in my camera bag, I would say my favorite thing, and it's not even like gear, it's my fanny pack.
Oh.
I had to go order it offline because I couldn't find any in store. So I have 2 different fanny packs in my bag, and they get me through wedding days, they get me through shoots. Everything is like just on my person.
What do you put? Do you put like extra batteries in there? Like,
oh yeah, SD cards. Even if I'm shooting a family, then I have like candy in there. I got tissues. If I'm doing like an engagement session, so that they, you know, if they start crying, you know, I want the tears, but then it like it's snotty and weird. So then we got tissues.
You are prepared. It's no wonder you're a mom. This makes sense.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, okay, side note for Whitney, fanny pack immediately. That's so smart. I mean, I don't do a lot of engagement sessions or weddings, but when I do, that would be something super nice to accommodate, because it's the little things. My partner usually actually he tags along for weddings, and he's the one to like, there was a bride that couldn't stop, you know, her nerves were going crazy. And so he went to the store and got her medication, like came back and was like, don't worry about it. So like I guess he's my tool bag. That's what, he is part of definitely something that is so valuable for me. Like he just tags along, and anything that I need, he's like, I'll go get it. I'll be right back. So him too, especially for weddings.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And he's not even a photographer. He's not even a photographer. He just wants to tag along and support. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can everyone keep following you?
Great question. You can just add me on Facebook, Whitney Brewer. I love being personal friends, so I'm all about that. Whitney Brewer _ on Instagram, and Whitney Brewer Photo@gmail.com if you'd like to email me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm going to put all of Whitney's information in the show notes. But until next time, we'll chat soon.
Yes. Thank you, babe. Have a great day.
Bye.